We're closing down on phase two with a spring game on Thursday night. Really excited about it. We've made some strides as a football team. We got to continue as we get into phase three and fundamentally and stronger, faster, all that kind of stuff. But we really made some strides. Excited about the spring game. Excited about the 100th year, obviously, of Aztec football. The 100th season, and really excited about the ambassadors that have been named: Willie Buchanan, Fred Dreyer, Marshall, Akbar, Haven Moses, Kirk, Rashad Penny, Donnell Pumphrey, Todd Santos, and Brian Sipe. Really, they have demonstrated what being an Aztec Warrior is all about, and we're excited about it. Two of them, Donnell Pumphrey and Brian Sipe, are our honorary head coaches for the black and white team, and we're excited for tomorrow night and to get after it. So hope you're all there.
Thanks, Coach. We'll start with John.
I was about to raise my hand, and you called on me before I even raised it. Coach, it's good to see you. I know we spoke briefly yesterday, but if you could just kind of further the conversation about what you've seen from your quarterbacks so far this spring, and in regards to Braxton, what has stuck out in regards to the way he's run the offense so far.
Yeah, I think number one, I think all four of them, are very competitive, and that's kind of. And when I say that, I'm talking about what we did in the winter, what they did in the weight room, how they went about each day. So I think that as a group, speaks volumes. And really excited how Braxton came in, how he competed. He's had a very good spring. I mean, we've got things we got to work on, all that kind of stuff. That always happens, but really excited for him. I thought Will made some real strides. I think the competition, Kyle Crum, a young guy who came in, and Liu, those two young guys really have done a nice job for us. And, if we start the game today, we'll start with Braxton and go from there.
What are the challenges, if there are any, with acclimating with a new program? If you're a player like Braxton, obviously transfer portal is a big part of the sport right now, and he's someone that has a lot of collegiate experience at a high level. But are there hurdles that you need to clear when you go from one program to another?
Well, I think there's always verbiage, John. I mean, guys call things different ways, different offenses. He's an intelligent guy, so it wasn't a problem for him. He's extremely hard worker, and I think that whole group has done it. But he's in Jeff's office, Coach Heklinski's office, a ton. And you got a guy who's been on that stage before, and has started at a significant level. So really excited about what he's done.
I had one more for you just on the tailback room in general, because you've got a group that's highly thought after. I think that maybe didn't have the same amount of playing experience that they'll have obviously moving forward in 2022. But what do you do with tailbacks typically during spring football? Because it's like, can you do everything you want to do with tailbacks, because you're trying to protect them as well, aren't you?
Yeah, well, yeah, we got a lot of tailbacks though. When you look at it, and it's really good for some of the young guys. Jalen Armstead, we really wanted to get him some significant runs. Cam Davis wanted him to get some significant runs. So as you go forward, Chance Bell, we pretty much know what he's about. It's like Jonah Tavai. I know what Jonah Tavai is as a D lineman. I know what Keyshawn Banks is, So maybe it's another guy who hasn't played a lot, who gets a little bit more of the snaps, and that's kind of what's happened. The one thing, John, I did. We had a draft yesterday. And Coach Brian Sipe and Coach Donnell Pumphrey were there. We split the seniors up. We're playing for steak and hot dogs. It's going to be fun. The offensive line is probably a little thinner than we'd like, so they'll all play for one of the teams. So they'll be in gray. But really had a significant, had a great time. The guys were in the seniors, they drafted and they were into it. And Coach Sipe and Donnell did a great job. Coach Pumphrey, it was a lot of fun.
So then, lastly, for you, does that mean the offensive lineman gets steak regardless of who wins?
They will get steak. That I've already made that decision as the commissioner, and so it'll be good.
All right, thanks, Brady.
You got it, John.
Thank you, John. We'll go to Kirk.
Hey, Coach, to be clear at quarterback, so does this mean Braxton's the starter going into fall camp, or would you consider him the starter going into the first game of the season?
I would name him going into fall camp. Right now at this time, I think he's earned that. I do like how Will has come back and competed. I would say if Braxton decided to get fat over the summer, he would not be the quarterback.
So what else would it take for someone to jump in before the season opener?
Well, he's got to have a daggone good fall camp.
And then falling in behind that, I guess you could say Will has the inside track, but how much could the other guys, since they did come for the spring, achieve to maybe move up in the ranks as well?
Yeah, well, I think they moved up. I mean, there isn't any doubt, and they moved up just in the knowledge of the offense and learning the offense, getting the spring ball underneath you, getting hit a little bit and knocked around a little bit, having to stand in the pocket with a lot of good pressure, doing a great job with play fakes, all those kind of things, and doing it at this level with this kind of speed.
One would have thought that Braxton coming in after starting every game last season would have given him a leg up, and it seems to be that was the case. Is that kind of how it played out as you guys watched everything?
I thought, number one, you just go watch winter conditioning, and that's a big deal because he's coming to a new team, and he's got to earn their respect. And at the same time, by how he ran and how he competed, he did that. So that is something that kind of showed through early when he got here.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think of just on the field stuff, but how important is some of the other things that you might not see as much?
Yeah, Kirk is as important as anything when you look at your program, you look at your leaders, you look at how they progress, and there's no doubt. I mean, his leadership, his competitiveness, all was something that you're really happy with.
And can you talk about some of the other transfers that came in and how much of an impact they made? Will they, you think, be in starting roles? Can you go over some of those guys?
Well, I think Cooper McDonald, Caden's brother, came in. He had started, I believe, 10 games at Washington. So there's a guy who's got experience, a guy who physically is put together, a good athlete. Justice Tavai, Jonah's brother, is done a great job. Really excited about what he brings. He's a little different than Jonah. He's taller and a little bigger from that standpoint, but he's fit in really good. Excited about what he's done. Devin Lamp has had to have surgery, so we lost him, and he'll be fine. But losing that time with him, we'd always like to have. And then on offense, you look at Mark Redmond, tight end, has done a great job. He's another guy transferred with Cooper. McDonald from Washington. Really good athlete for a tight end. Really tough guy. Will stick his nose in there. So real excited about him. Cade Bennett, an offensive lineman from Oklahoma State, has done a nice job at guard for us. He got a little tweaked up. He'll be okay. But we won't have him tomorrow. But he's done a really good job.
What kind of surgery did Lamp have?
Hernia, sports hernia.
Okay.
I never had one of those.
So that's the kind of thing that he'll be really good to go by. You would think by fall camp.
Oh yeah. He'll be good to just start doing stuff in 2 weeks. You know, so he's from Tulsa, and really excited about him.
Any other guys that got dinged up that wouldn't be able to participate?
No, we were in pretty good shape, to be honest with you.
So also through camp, anything else that developed where guys kind of earned starting roles or anything that jumped out at you over the 4 weeks?
You know, I thought we competed as a team. I mean, I really liked that, and I liked how, you know, they understand that every day they're evaluated. Obviously, there's some guys who've played significant reps of football. You know, Caden McDonald's, Michael Shawcroft. You know, you got Banks, you got Jonah Tavai, Garrett Fountain is a guy who we've moved to end and really like what he's done. So I'm excited about our football team. We still got a long way to go as far as getting more consistent in how we want to play.
Is there anything you hope to accomplish that you didn't quite get to?
Not really. Kind of what I thought, where we end up. The good thing is I feel better about us growing up a little bit. I don't feel great, but I feel better.
And what does this spring game mean? Is it more of a kind of a reward after all the work of the first 14 practices, or how much evaluation goes on here?
There'll be a significant amount, and there'll be a significant amount. Part of it is playing in front of people. We got some guys who haven't played in front of people for 2 years. When you look at some of the freshmen, guys who haven't started, and they got an opportunity now to play in front of, I don't know how many people. We hope we have 1,000. That'd be cool. But if we can get that, that'd be great. And then, stay healthy through it, and learn, because that's what they're trying to do.
And then last thing for me, after tomorrow, can you go through what goes on between then and then when fall camp starts?
Well, our guys go on spring break. University goes on spring break next week. They'll come back on this after the week, and then on that Tuesday they'll have their first lift.
And then, so over the next 3 or 4 months, what else goes on as they kind of ramp up to the fall?
Well, they'll work fundamentals and techniques. They'll work what they usually do in the summer. A lot of senior-led things that go on, 7-on-7, fundamentals with, the sled and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, and one other thing, still looking for somebody out of the portal, and what position would you be targeting?
I think if we there's 2 places I'm kind of interested in. Probably another offensive lineman, a guy who has some more experience, and maybe a defensive lineman.
Not running back anymore?
Well, we'll see.
All right, thanks.
All right, you got it.
Thanks, Kirk. I'm looking around for any more questions. Go ahead, John.
I was just going to ask Coach, while we have you, what type of relationship is there between Jonah and Justice in terms of how they compete?
Well, the only thing I can tell you is they must not have ran to the football in Hawaii. That's all I can tell you, because he's learning to run to the football.
Okay.
So.
And And one more just in regards to, I mean, this is kind of the last opportunity, or maybe the first opportunity for the public here in San Diego, to see your football team. And then there's, of course, Snapdragon Stadium opening in just over 5 months. So, what's it going to mean to you and your program to see the support tomorrow night?
Oh, it'd be great. Like all of our athletic teams here at San Diego State, I mean, they work hard. These student athletes, they work hard. I'm really proud of what our guys have done. I think there's some guys really taking a leadership role, and really, it's going to be fun. I hope tomorrow night everybody has a good time and we stay healthy.